That's how we came to Ghana to open our first business in East Legon. Big mistake. I was mentally gone. To be able to make money, you need to have systems. 90% of people, their problem is not more money.
It's less expenses. Why isn't money taught in education?
The setup of education is to benefit the government. Medicine is not available, but you can go and do sociology.
Yes.
Absolute nonsense. There is a religious box. There's a person's mindset box as well.
So we've just been boxed in this country.
Learn how to model and learn from people. That is the...
Anytime you think about making money, you are clashing with your morals.
Absolutely. If you focus on the little and you do it well, that is where the breakthrough is. And you might think it's difficult, but this is the way it works. If you close your eyes right now in a dark room and then you open your eyes and there's only one candle, you begin to see that candle. When the world is this dark and you choose to be light, the universe cannot help but help. Because if Mansa Musa wrote the script down and maintained it here, a lot of us will still have been wealthy. If you're thinking of making money, this is exactly how you should do it.
Welcome to the Masterminds Podcast. My name is Richie Mensah, and I'm going to be your guide on this exciting journey as we transform your most powerful tool, your mind. We'll discuss some ideas, some concepts, have a good conversation, and hopefully set you on a path for ultimate success, because the goal is always the same: to turn you into the mastermind you are supposed to be. Now, I'm very honored for the conversation I'm about to have, because this is one person I really respect from far away. Like, I was watching him, I keep watching him talk, watching him speak, say such intelligent things, and I was like, who is this guy? Then when I had the honor of meeting him, I marveled even more, because we have so many things in similar, and he's even more intelligent in person than I thought from what I saw on camera. So please help me to welcome Derrick.
Thank you very much.
The superstar Derrick.
That's the second best introduction I've ever had in my life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's a very good introduction. Right? If you're ever going to be introduced, it has to be someone good. Because how you get introduced is more important than how the person sees you. Right?
100%.
Yeah, so that was a good one.
Charlie, Derrick, you are so inspiring. First of all, how do you do it? How did you build Connected Minds? Talk to me.
So well, first of all, thank you to your audience, and everybody that watches Connected Minds should be here as well to watch this awesome program. And for putting this together, this is amazing.
Thank you.
2017, I had an awesome business in healthcare that I was running in the UK. And then I thought to myself, every experience that I've had, I want to be able to find a way to teach people. So I picked up my phone and then I went on Anchor FM. At the time, it was just an app before it got bought by Spotify.
Okay.
So I just went on my phone and I started recording a podcast conversation. So I literally just having conversation with myself. Then, just as it happens in business, the business had a downturn, really difficult, and I was struggling to keep up with the pressure that was coming. So I dropped it. Then I moved to Ghana a few years later. Obviously, business picked back up again. So I moved to Ghana. When I moved to Ghana, I was really trying to understand the way people think and how they do things, because it was very much different to what I was used to. You look at the way people drive on the street. You look at how people speak, the level of confidence they know. But there were a lot of problems that I was seeing with the average young Ghanaian. And I thought that I could be the Messiah to help fix that. So I said, you know what? Let's bring back this podcast. But this time, do it for the people.
Okay.
That's why Connected Minds was born.
See, as soon as I hear such purpose, then I understand someone's success. Because I always say that if your purpose isn't bigger than yourself, you are not actually going to see success. You'll just survive, For those who want to thrive, you need to always think bigger than yourself.
That's right.
So bringing you here, there are like a million things we could have spoken about. So I kept trying to think, what is it I can talk to you about that will benefit those watching the most? And I thought one problem that a lot of people are having is how to make and maintain wealth. And I've heard you speak so intelligently on it. So today I want us to talk about money.
Let's talk about money.
So first of all, personally, what does wealth mean to you?
Well, for me, it's no matter how high you want to look at it or how deep the concept of wealth should be, first you need to have provision.
Okay.
Because actually what God did to Adam and Eve was provision first before he put the people in there. So wealth, really, you must have the provision first.
Okay.
You need to have the finance. From that, then you build other things that will help sustain it for the long term. And I'm speaking generation over generation. And again, I'll take my example from the Bible. It says that a good man built for his children's children. Right. So that gives us the understanding of what wealth really is. But on a deeper level, then we're talking about holistic.
Okay.
Which is your mental health, your spiritual, emotional, every other aspect of it must be taken care of. That's why when you see, in fact, even again, the Bible, the Son of Man had no place to lay his head. So you see, there are so many examples that you can pick from the Bible to explain the concept of wealth.
Yeah.
And that's what it means to me.
I'm so glad that I asked you the definition of wealth and you didn't just jump right straight to wealth is how much money you have in your bank account. A lot of people equate income to wealth, not understanding that wealth is everything put together. Yes, you need your financial freedom, but you also need your health because you don't want to earn so much money and spend all your time giving the money to the doctor, or you don't want to be filthy rich with no peace at home, no place to lay your head. So if you believe this about wealth, do you think that as somebody is trying to increase their financial status, do you think they should be building all the other elements of wealth separately, or you believe that finish getting your money and your money will solve all the other problems?
I say this especially to even young traders. The more easier your life is, the easier you can trade on the stock market and make more money.
True.
It's a psychological thing.
Yeah.
If you don't have your basic needs taken care of, you usually struggle to have other things pieced together properly. For example, if it's a job that you have, take care of that job and the job will take care of you.
Yeah.
You need to have that foundation of X amount of money that you have. Then we can start thinking of, okay, if you want to eat the best food, you need good money for that.
Yeah.
If you want to drive the best cars, you need money for that. If you say you want to take a holiday to Tibet, for example, and go for meditation session because you're thinking of your mental health, you need to have enough money to be paying your mortgage to be able to do that. So regardless of where you want to take this, you need to have a certain level of money to say that, okay, you want to check everything else. And not many people can spend the money to go for a massage. Right?
True.
But if you have your business set up properly, the job that you have, you're making enough money from it, then you can take those things. Those things are luxuries to think about. Really. So I think you can do it two ways. There are people who start off with the message for the people, and I've seen it. Dr. Bafo Jan, the message for the people. I saw that man when he started. Today, he is in a better place than he was financially.
Yeah.
So you have people who come for the people, then everything else come together.
Okay.
And you have the people who build the finance first, then they start looking for the other things. Steve Jobs went to India in his last days when he was dying of cancer.
Yeah.
He could have started this earlier in his life, but he was so busy working on his, Apple dreams and all of that. But again, it's okay. Whatever route you choose, as long as you have the peace, and I'm talking the divine peace in whatever you're doing, you're wealthy enough.
I like that.
Yeah.
Please, let's get personal a bit. You mentioned the fact that you started the podcast and then things went down for you. And then when things picked up, you came back to the podcast. But I want to understand, how did you dig yourself back up?
Decisions. If you check on my Instagram, I say I'm trying to help you make the best choices. Decisions are always the downfall of a man. Decisions, regardless of where it goes. Sometimes you can never really tell. And the outcome of a decision does not actually tell you whether it was a good decision or not. It's usually random. What happens is usually random. My business is in healthcare.
Okay.
So at the time I had, a lot of telehealth services that were running. And, there was a massive regulatory change. What that meant was that some of the items that I could sell, now I can no longer sell it. Right. And if you look down the street, in every business, you have a big seller.
Yeah.
If you're selling cars, there's a car you sell the most. If you are selling, different type of fruits, there's a fruit that people buy the most. Every business, there's your big seller. Yeah. My big seller dropped. And what that meant was that I needed to rethink about the strategy. Now, at the time, I was mentally gone in the sense that
it
got to a time my business partner had to pay for flight ticket for myself and my wife to travel, to be able to travel. It was difficult. But you see, I've always said that you need a support system. My mentors, Ernest, Mr. Annan, Pastor Eric, all these people, my wife, these people were there to hold me. Because otherwise, I was getting into a very confused state and I didn't really understand what was happening. And because I used these people as a way of getting back up, I was able to pick my business back up again.
Wow.
You know, but I just want to say to people out there that, look, this happens. If you have a dream to be wealthy, if you have a dream to save your family from financial distress, you go through some of the toughest challenges in life in pursuit of that. It's okay.
Failure is part of the game.
It's part of the process. Yeah, it's part of the process.
Okay, so let's look at holding on to money. What are some of the mistakes you think some people make that makes them lose the money they've been able to earn?
First of all, you know, making money is a whole different ideology to keeping money.
100%.
To be able to make money, you need to have systems and know what to do. In the sense that, first, let's look at people who have jobs. And I think I mentioned it previously. If you have a job, you need to understand that to be able to keep that job, you need to do what the job requires of you. Come to work on time and do what your job description says. Then at the end of the month, you're going to get your check. But if you don't follow this, you're going to lose it. It's exactly the same thing happens with people that have businesses.
Yeah.
What gives you that money, you must do that to maintain it. So for example, for us, in the beginning, young boys, we had never seen the certain level of money that we saw before. So what comes in? Excitement, I call it. So you get very excited. The dopamine comes in. It rushes in. Muti comes in, and then you start making a lot of terrible decisions. Decisions that your parents would have never made. You make them.
Yeah.
Because you think you are the big boy now. Money does this to a lot of people. But you see, what then happens is that when those time comes in, you need to maintain what I call the balance zone, stoicism. Okay. Neither excited nor sad, because sadness can get you into as much trouble as excitement can. So I call it the balance zone. You always have to bring yourself back in the middle, like a pH7. Because if you check in your body, if you're too acidic, there's trouble. If you're too basic, there's trouble. But always try to come in the middle. This water you're drinking cannot be acidic.
Yeah.
It can be too basic. Otherwise, there's trouble. So we need to learn how to keep systems that keep the business running for the long term. And of course, to the people who are not entrepreneurs that have jobs, you must always develop yourself to be able to keep the certain level of finance that you have.
Okay.
You see, there's always this problem, right? Especially in the West and the people that have the credit system. I got a credit card. There's some money coming in. Okay, they go on shopping spree. They buy this today.
They spend
tomorrow.
More than
They are thinking, right, I'm earning $3,000 a month, and I've just spent $1,000 a month to pay for a Range Rover that I don't really need it. But I'm only buying this because the internet makes it cool to own one. So I buy myself one. And then the next minute, there's another thing that I want. So I go and buy. But what we don't understand is that to really be able to keep the level of success that you have is to cut down on your expense to maintain this.
Yeah.
I usually say, what people don't, 90% of people, their problem is not more money.
It's less expenses.
Less expense. If you learn to cut down your expense, you can actually learn to make more. Because to have more is in maintenance. If you can maintain, you can have more. If you can't maintain, even more comes, you lose it.
Yeah. So then take us through your money journey. Let's let you be the, sorry to say, scapegoat for the person watching. How are you able to maintain your money to grow it? I
had a conversation with Mr. Fred, who is my accountant in the UK.
Okay.
Many years ago when I started getting paid for my business. Because remember, some of you must have heard the story on other podcasts, but when I started my business with Eddie, who's my business partner, he was working a job, earning $4,000, and he was paying me out of his pay to pay my bills while I stayed in the business to do the startup stuff. It was very cold. There was no heaters. We didn't have the money to do that. We stayed in that business until it started working. Then he joined me to build. Then when I started getting paid, before that, myself and my wife put money together.
Okay.
And then we bought our first house. We bought a flat somewhere in Perfleet. Beautiful. before we even got married. 2 years after marriage, we pulled some money out of the house. And then because I was already getting paid for my business, we added money together and we bought even a bigger house. That's how we started our real estate portfolio in the UK. Now we've come together with a few friends and we own a few more. That's how I was thinking of this. Okay, have the cash flow. There's the main chicken that lays the egg, which is the main business. And there's the side things that we do. And this is just for future proof. Should in case I need to go back to the bank to raise some money, then they're going to look at the asset that I have to give me money against the business.
Interesting.
That's that. Then I had a conversation with, my accountant, and then he goes, Derrick, no matter how much money you think you're being paid now, try and do some business back home. That changed everything for me. When he said that, very quickly, Eddie was coming to Ghana and I texted him, bro, we need a place in Ghana. We need to expand our empire. We need to do something. That's how we came to Ghana to open our first business in East Legon. Big mistake. Big mistake. You see, especially to the diasporans, there's this place where it's so bougie. You can create a business there and a lot of people have money and they might buy from you. Don't do that. I came to East Legon. At the time, we had saved so much money, a bit of my money and a bit of Eddie's money. We spent close to about 40,000 pounds to do a place for a pharmacy in East Legon. Terrible idea.
Wow.
We lost all that money. Within 2 years, we realized that there were days we were making sales of 200 cedis.
Wow.
Against a 40K investment.
Pounds.
Terrible. I had to be in Ghana to understand the system to know that this is not a place to do this business. So we moved to a much lower scale area. And within a year in that location, we were able to open the second branch from that business.
Nice.
So you see, there are sometimes you will learn things from your experience. And sometimes the better way is to learn from the experience of other people.
Thank you.
As you are building and as you're going on, if you are aware and attentive enough, you would understand that there's always something that is making you aware of problems and things that are about to happen. And if you are attentive enough, you'll be able to solve that problem before it comes.
Your instincts.
Yes.
That's an amazing journey.
Yeah. So
that 40,000 pounds is gone.
It's gone. We never got it back. And we'll never get it back. So for me, my advice to a lot of entrepreneurs is that if you have money, again, I think that stemmed from the excitement of, okay, we can, we saved a bit of money. Let's go and this happens in business a lot. Sometimes when you create a business and it's working, you think you have a Midas touch.
Yeah.
You can replicate that very quickly. But do you know what I've learned? Doubling up is better.
Okay.
Doubling up. It's because what we could have done very easily is that the business that is working, we could have just doubled it.
Okay.
And then double it again. And then keep doubling it. And after some time, we say, okay, hold on. We can now expand into other industries.
Okay.
But sometimes with us, because we, novice, you don't know about this. My father never sat me down to say, this is how you have to do it. Even to today. I can't see any of my parents down to say that this is what we are doing in our business. So give me XYZ directions to be able to do that. They may give you advice based on their experience, but they don't know what you're doing properly.
Let's talk about that for a moment.
Yes.
Why is it that we have made money one of the most important things in our ecosystem, right? Why isn't money taught in education? Why isn't money taught in school?
I think money is not taught because education itself, the setup of education is to benefit the government.
Yeah.
And you and I within the society. It's so that when you are sick and you walk in fact, when you are sick and you call the ambulance, somebody will pick up. Somebody will drive here, pick you up, and then take you to the hospital. There will be nurses, doctors, and people who will take care of you. That's what education is.
Yeah.
The government needs that to also internationally appear as a good country and as a thriving country. So government set these systems up and they put us in place, go and do this course. I've even heard that in Ghana, sometimes there are schools that will pick the course for you. They will tell you, medicine is not available, but you can go and do sociology.
Yes.
Absolute nonsense. I remember the time that my sister was supposed to go to nursing school and this happened where she didn't get into a government school or whatever. At the time, I didn't really understand. I just told my parents that, look, this is what is going to happen. I'm going to drive her to a school and I will get admission from a private school for her. They didn't understand it. It was unheard. Oh, why don't you just wait for I said, this is what we are going to do. I drove several hours to Presbyterian University in Agogo. And I took her there, and within 3 years, she had a degree.
Mm-hmm.
They were just waiting for the system. And the system would have easily thrown her into something else. But she really wanted to be a nurse.
So that means the system is not for us.
It's not for us. The system is collectively for the government.
Yeah.
For the government. So the concept of money, because it goes beyond that, the government doesn't really want to put that in the curriculum. Yeah, because if you learn how to make money through the entrepreneurial way, you will dictate what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You will come out of school, and if they are giving you 3,000 cedis to be a nurse, you tell them that now you don't want to be a nurse.
And they will lose the control.
And they will lose that. So they need to be able to keep you in that box. And unfortunately, there is a religious box, there is a governance box, and there's a tribal box, and there's a person's mindset box as well. These are all boxes people have created for themselves. And
so we've just been boxed in this country.
Yeah.
How do we break out of it?
How do you break out? Good. There's a way.
Show me the way.
All right, cool. First of all, to become anything better than you must first allow yourself to unlearn.
Mm-hmm.
So everything I've described, if you come to the realization that, these systems has been set up to keep me here. Until you come to that realization that this is where you are and it's not going to make you better if you stay in there, you can never break out. Because once you realize that, you get bigger than the box and then you break out of that box. So they can't contain you anymore. At the moment, they need to keep you there because you benefit them and you are not seeing. Some people are wearing the glasses that they've put on certain people. Even you and I, they can't see.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happens here, where a lot of people, they shoot the messenger. They don't listen to the message. So there are many people at this level in the conversation, they would have logged out of YouTube already.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. Yeah, because the mind they have cannot appreciate that this young man, the journey he's been on, he's trying to enlighten me to see different to what my religion, my education system, and the governance system has taught me.
So how do you get somebody who's been indoctrinated like this to understand that there's another way? Because let's say the person is 25, 27, 29. They've been taught the wrong thing for 29 years. How do you get them to understand there's a completely different way?
Modeling is a very powerful thing.
Okay. Show them the way.
Modeling. So I look at you and I like what you've done with your company. I want to be like Links.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. If we have 20 people like you building the industry that you've built, Ghana will be a better place, especially for our entertainment industry. So people must learn to model.
Okay.
I thought I was bold until I interviewed Honorable Kennedy Japan on my podcast.
Okay.
The man is as bold as...
Too bold.
Very bold. And I want to be very bold.
Mm-hmm.
So modeling, learn how to model and learn from people. That is the key. Because I remember, look, and a lot of the big artists will tell you, sometimes when the inspiration is not coming, close your eyes and imagine if it was Richie Mensah in this studio, what record would he have done?
True.
It's modeling. There's a rich man in India, and all he does is copy Warren Buffett's trading style. He's a multi-millionaire.
That's all.
Modeling. If we learn to model the right people in our society, the society will be better. Because when the moment you begin to model somebody, then it's an identification of yourself that, I can be better.
Yeah.
Because you are seeing.
You've positioned yourself there.
You start thinking like that person would. Mentally is a powerful thing. And once you can do it mentally, you can step in there physically.
True. Because what you can believe, you can achieve.
Absolutely.
Okay, so right now, they've been indoctrinated already. It's too late. What are some of the myths that you believe most people have about money that you want to debunk?
I think whenever I speak about this, I get very passionate. For example, now we are seeing a lot of things on our screens where there are certain class of people that the FBI are chasing, right? I hope there's somebody sitting out there and they see other ways of making money other than that. Because you've come from the society where people have, if you walk in a community in your little village and there's a beautiful house and there's a car that comes out of that house, tinted all black, and every day the kids come into the car plus the wife and they drive very slowly to the school, they drop them, bring them back in. They are the only person in that community that does that. Usually, what do people think about that, such people? Hey, voodoo money,
Yeah.
juju money. That needs to come out of our head. And I do understand that what people don't understand, they question it negatively.
Yeah.
So our negative way of questioning things needs to come out. But rather, our questioning should be to increase our knowledge in the field that we don't understand. I definitely do think that, yes, people can take any means that they want. But I just want to tell people that the means we are discussing here is what has put people on the rich list.
Thank you.
And that you can sleep peacefully. Don't wake up the next morning thinking everybody made their money by, they call something buame. Or everybody made their money by spilling blood. It's absolute nonsense. Let's not focus on it, because whatever you focus on, give your energy to, you become.
Mm-hmm. And it almost feels like we've wrongly accepted here that we aren't worth anything.
Yeah.
So we can understand how Elon Musk can make so much money, how Jeff Bezos can make so much money. But if it's a Ghanaian or it's a Nigerian, then it must either be illegal or through juju or through, do you get me? We don't want to understand that we are capable of as much or even more. And one thing I find that to happen is that it means that anytime you think about making money, you are clashing with your morals.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, I understand that the people that have controlled the narrative for a very long time are such people. Such people as those that you classify as juju money, fraud boys, whatever description you have for them.
Mm-hmm.
Or your popular and your most famous, Instagram celebrities. These are the people that have controlled the narrative for a very long time. So people like us, it's not cool like that. So the message is really simple. By virtue of compounding, if you learn to make 1,000 cedis every single month, by the time you get to the 5th year, it will not be 1,000 cedis anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It should be, as a matter of fact, it should be about 50K to 100K a month.
Yeah.
If you learned enough. And that route is what we are discussing here. And that is available to everybody. It's as sure as going to school and getting a paid job.
True.
You don't have to now sleep and lock your door a certain way, or when you're driving your car, you don't have to only drive at weekends. Nah. For me, my message is very simple. The young people need more role models that they can model their lives with.
But I think what's even happening is that the role models don't want to show up, because what happens is when a wealthy person in Ghana shows up, hey, fraud, hey, Sikedro.
Yeah.
So the people who can actually be good examples would rather just be quiet and live their lives. But we need to have more conversations like this to let everyone know that, yes, it's okay to be bold. You know, like how you mentioned, Canada, Japan is bold.
Bold, yeah. You know, I'm sorry to say, but within the African continent, there's a lot of robber barons. People who, look, there's two different things, right? There's a difference between an entrepreneur and a businessman.
Yeah.
An entrepreneur, it's somebody that is solving a real problem and a need for the people. They care about the service they provide.
Yeah.
The businessman is in for just the money.
Yeah.
So, for example, Richie and I can come together and through a government contract, we can do a deal and then we make 10 million pounds.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we are on social media as big boys. So for that reason, we can't even talk about how we make the money. We can't.
True.
Okay, and then there are the people who are true entrepreneurs. And then they get the support of the government. Very good. But these people are not talking about their stories, because when they talk about it and say that, you know, I started off by cleaning the floors of Lynx Entertainment and that's how I became rich.
You say,
They'll be slapping them left, right, center.
Show us the way. You are coming to tell us lies.
Left, right, center. They'll be slapping them. But it's the truth. You can't, I've said it before, you can't separate the end result from the process.
Yeah.
It's all one.
Everybody started from zero.
Yes.
Even the person who inherited money inherited it from someone who started from zero.
Yes.
I think it's just painful for people to accept that.
Yes, because it reveals their bad emotions.
Yeah.
So somebody sees you driving a beautiful car. The reason why they will bash you on the internet for driving that car is not because they know what you've done, is because anytime they see you, emotionally, it reveals their inability
To do the same. Yeah.
So the next minute they can do is to hide behind the bird app.
Yeah.
And start saying a lot of nonsense. Because people have a lot of insecurities. People have a lot of things that they have thought that they could have done, but they can't do it. If you put every 100 people here, only one will be financially successful. And I'm talking either through education or through entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So that means that there are 99 people
who fail.
Want what you have.
Mm-hmm.
But because they are not bold enough and confident enough to get it, anytime you post, they are angry. Anytime. But if such people would say, nah, hold on. How did Richie do it? How? One of my friends asked me a question. So how did Honorable Kenneth Japan make his money? With the first 10 minutes, I didn't give him the answer. The question I asked him was, are you asking with your prejudiced mind or you're asking with your I want to know mind? Which one is it? And explain to me exactly why you're asking that question. After he explained and said, I genuinely want to know. And I said, okay, now I'll tell you. Because sometimes this is what is happening. A lot of people are, okay, Derrick, Charlie, some money be there. Maybe his papa gave him something or he did something.
Yeah.
So when you are telling them the story, they are not paying attention. They are not listening. They have it at the back of your mind. And you see, foundations are very powerful. They are very powerful. You can't see it in a beautiful building. You cannot see the foundation.
But it's what's holding everything together.
So if you have in your head, the cement you have in your head is such that you have loaded preconceived ideas of how this young boy made his money, there's nothing I would say that you will listen.
True.
Nothing. When I first moved into my area, people were calling me Nam2. Nonsense.
Nam2.
Again, it's the same mind. The same mind. The same mind that you are. But you see, you walk past certain people, even your classmates, you walk past them, they are still in the same situation that they are, the same conditions, but they are the ones that gossip the most about you.
Yeah.
And your life is not changing.
But the truth is, people above you never gossip about you.
Nah.
It's either those right beside you or beneath.
Yes. We've shared so much ideas since we met in the studio. We've shared so much ideas.
Yeah.
Because what is the meaning of competition at the top?
There's no point. You know, I heard this story where an employee at Pepsi went to Coca-Cola to go and give away some of the Pepsi secrets, you know. And when he went there, they said, oh, very interesting. Give me 1 second, we'll get right back. Then they went and then they called somebody from Coca-Cola and the police to come and arrest him.
That's it.
Yeah. I was like, what are you trying to do? We don't mind that we compete. We compete at the top. That's what people don't get is competing at the top is not rivalry. It's like a partnership.
Yes.
Like we are all working towards something bigger.
Yes. And if you want to understand this, let me break it down. So you go into, and my son asked me this question. That's why I'm using that to break it down. Dad, how come anywhere I see Burger King, I see Pizza Hut and I see KFC?
Thank you.
And I said, son, I'll give you the reason why. When we were coming, you told me you wanted KFC. But as soon as you got here, you changed your mind and said you wanted Burger King. Why? And he said that because I saw Burger King right next. And I said, yes. This gives the consumer options.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, it drives more traffic to the area.
Yes, 100%. And people don't understand this. It's like they ask this question that, okay, if there's a vending machine here and it has only Coca-Cola in it and it's 50 people are buying in a day and you put a Pepsi next to it, how many people will now be buying a Coca-Cola? And they'll say, oh, 25. Then I said, no, it's 50-50. Because first, when you were walking by the vending machine with Coca-Cola, your thoughts were, do I want a Coke or not? Now, when you're walking by and there's a Coca-Cola and a Pepsi, your thoughts are, do I want a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi? So that person is more likely to buy one of the two.
Yes. Increased option.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why when you see a lady with a supermarket, and even though Coca-Cola is the one they are selling the most, they don't clean the entire shop and keep just Coca-Cola in.
Yes.
They want to give you the option.
Exactly.
Because anytime you buy Coca-Cola, and in fact, this was a trick that I used for the pharmacy. When we open a pharmacy, the supermarket items we sell, the Milo, the Nido, the fast-moving items, we sell it at cost price.
Okay.
How much you buy it is how much we sell it. The reason is that if people see that it's that cheap, They will come, and when they walk in, they might buy
something else. Yeah. Like I learned this trick about McDonald's, Burger King, most of these fast food places, where they explained that they're actually playing a game of profit margin, because where they make their money the most is from fries. So the profit margin on maybe like the chicken at KFC is like 10, 15%. So the profit margin isn't that big, but the profit margin on the fries is about 80%. So that's why anytime you walk into a fast food joint, they'll say, do you want fries with that? Large fries, medium fries, fries. So you think KFC is selling chicken. You think McDonald's is selling burgers. No, they're selling fries.
Yes. Because as a matter of fact, anytime you walk into either KFC or McDonald's or Burger King, you end up with fries.
Yeah.
You buy everything, but you still end up with fries.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, but one way to keep your money, right, is to prevent yourself from spending too much, like you were talking about. How have you managed to stay away from the temptation of the flashy lifestyle? Like, I love the fact that every time I see you, you are in a plain white tee. When I know you can afford, the most expensive outfits. How do you manage to stay away?
So I think a lot of entrepreneurs would know this. If you've ever lost money before, and I mean, there are two ways you learn to protect: where you are coming from, your background. When I check how difficult it was to get to where I am today, to even be able to afford a wristwatch, and then also when you've had a certain level of success and then you lose it. Yeah. If these two examples does not help you to keep what you have and be hard with it, that's the reason why sometimes they say esika for mutremoding. Because if you end up going on a shopping spree all the time, you would no longer be called sikeni. Yeah. And the reason why you appreciate the fact that that man has got money is because he knows how to keep money. Yeah. The way I've done it is very simple. Always coming back to the balance zone. I don't play with my pranayama, the breath control. Okay. Pranayama. Yeah, please explain that to me. Breath. Okay. The power of the breath. Okay. It's anytime you are faced with a decision making, taking deep breath and hold it for a bit. Okay. And release slowly. You begin to start thinking differently. Okay. And the next thing I do is let me sleep on it. You would always wake up with a different thoughts than what you think.
I have a big decision to make tonight. I'm going to try this.
You would always wake up with a different decision than you thought. For me, look, there are some people that start their pursuit towards the people very early in the entrepreneurial journey. Okay. And there are some people too, they wait until pension age, then they start impacting people. Fortunately for me, I've started quite early to impact people, to let people get themselves on the journey of self-improvement. So for that reason, I need to be an example for them, to show them that this thing we're doing is not for flashy lifestyle. It's not for somebody to see you and say, hey, Charlie, you are cool because of the crepes that you have on. Yeah. But really, to say that the number of people you're impacting is the reason why they follow you. Mm-hmm. So it's anytime you have to make a decision about spending, sleep on it, take a deep breath. And remember, buying is always an emotional decision. So if you walk into the shop right now, and it's happened to me because I just returned from Dubai, with your woman right now, and there are other people there, you buy something.
Yeah, you go buy.
Why? Because the influence has become big, it's become heavy. Yeah. So now, the emotional control may not be there. People also spend because of status. You want to spend something because you want to increase your status in the society. So you would buy a Bugatti or you buy a private jet just to increase your status. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. But remember, if you can't buy it twice, please don't spend money on it. Don't spend money on it. That's the reason why I've been able to maintain some of the cars that I have for a very long time. Because at the time that I was buying it, I had enough money to be able to maintain it over time. There are people that bought the same car at the same time when I bought it. It's no longer there.
Because the money not there.
If you really understand that money keeping, the power, it's in maintenance, then everything you acquire with that money, you must be able to maintain, including your spouse. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're in trouble.
100%. Yes. So, but it's great enough to have the idea like this. You said it, the person watching understands. But I know that without systems, you can't maintain anything.
So for me, for example, every business that we have a bookkeeper that sits in the business that check the numbers.
Okay.
I don't spend from my business account. There are people that pay school fees with their business checkbooks. I don't do that.
Yeah.
Because I have a bookkeeper there that will put me in check. While I was away on holiday, accountant will call you. Even when you pay Uber, they will call you and be like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And I've given them that job, that role to keep me in check. Aristotle, I think he was the man that had a man with him all the time that kept tapping him and said, remember, you are just a man. That's
like
always
that.
to bring him back in check. You need people to always keep you in check. You both can be spenders, especially if you have a spouse.
Yeah.
My wife is a saver and I'm a spender. So she's always there to say, hey, what's happening? You need that. And if that person is not there, the next person is your accountant. And let the accountant do their job.
So now your system is your wife.
Yes.
Okay. I see. So in general, how would you say that mindset actually influences wealth building?
I think if you sum up a lot of the things I've said, you would realize that the way, first of all, your values about money, how you saw your parents approach their finances when they were growing up, that impacts you when you grow up.
Yeah.
And then also where you want to go in the future, the sort of targets that you set for yourself. These help build the mind that you need to be able to keep the finance that you have.
Yeah.
I definitely do think the other thing as well is the circle that you keep. I don't have friends who go on shopping spree.
Okay.
I don't have people that go on funny holidays just to go and, chill with girls or drink alcohol. I don't even drink alcohol. Right. So a lot of the things I spend my money on is a lot of the time wristwatches and trainers. A lot of the time. And maybe a lot more white t-shirts. And then a beautiful holiday for the family. I try to focus my life on what I need now. In the past 1.5 years, I've probably spent more money on my podcast than I have on myself and my family. Because I know that is what is going to impact more people and then build a community of giants in the society. Because I need 50,000 young men and women that think the way I do or even better than I do.
So let me look at it this way. If you have the right mindset, you can grow your wealth.
Yes.
So then does that mean that anybody who's looking to grow wealth, instead of trying to think of where do I invest, what do I do, the first thing they should be thinking about is how to gain more knowledge to have the right mindset?
I think it's like a chicken and egg situation.
Okay.
Which one comes first? Right. A guy like me, it came through the process.
Okay.
Obviously, I had my epiphany very early. I think I was in third year university when I had my epiphany about this whole, I can do anything and I can become and I need to organize myself well. Right. This is what happened. So at university, third year, I'm not a very clever student. I'm just an average. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I'm an average student. Probably low down the grade.
I really doubt that, but continue lying.
Right. But watch this. So much that I got a 2.2. I'm not a very, C, D, E. Very terrible. Right?
Then you're just stubborn. That's all.
Maybe that's what it is. So at university, third year, struggling. I had a third chance to pass a course, or I drop off the course. Then summertime came and my rent was due. So I didn't have a place to stay. Then I called one of my classmates and said, look, can I stay at your place during these holidays for 4 weeks while I learn and study this course? I was still struggling to grasp the concept. So I made a phone call to Eddie, who's my business partner now. And I said, Ed, I'm really struggling with this course. I don't even know whether I'm going to be able to get through it. And he says, I've got a book for you. So Eddie passes a book to me, and then I stopped the revision and focused on that book. Within a week, I had read the entire book. Within the book, while I was reading the book, I didn't even know whether the story was real or not. And I had not researched into this person. But something happened. It felt like there were two bridges that were put together. So I felt very connected that Dr. Ben Carson has been able to separate conjoined twins at the Johns Hopkins University. And he was not a clever student to start with, but by virtue of the power that he realized in him, he was able to change his life. So I felt that, this course is not beyond me. And there's nothing on this planet that is beyond me. So I can become whoever I want to be. Once I dropped the book, that was when I Googled him to see whether it was real.
Okay.
And I checked. Actually, it was real. So that was the beginning of me realizing and developing the mindset for growth and development. From then on, several books I've read has really helped me. What I do think that some people can get their epiphany through a book like I did. They can get it from a podcast like this. But you can also get it from the journey that you are on.
Yeah.
Set yourself on the path that I want to be better every single day. For me, my trick is I want to learn something every day, as much as I can.
The 1%.
I'm either going to watch a podcast or I'm going to read a script from a book. But every day I make it an effort to learn. Or I'll speak to somebody that will teach me something that I didn't know. Simply by engaging in the conversation. Because the conversation is not going to be about football or any type of sports or even politics. I don't talk about those kind of stuff. Or even religion. It's simply going to be something that will expand my consciousness. That's it. So make it a purpose of yours to become better every day, every moment of your life. And for me, if you do that, you're just going to keep expanding. And anything that you desire on that path, you would have. That mindset has begun to change simply by you making that decision.
That's great.
Yeah.
As you're talking about the 1%, I mean, I always call it the 1% rule, where with every single day, my aim is to improve at least 1% and keep growing.
Yeah.
So if somebody's watching this right now and they're inspired, right, what kind of long-term strategy do you think they can set down to know that they will acquire the wealth that they want? And I don't just mean money, I mean the full definition of wealth.
Great. Okay, let's take this one after a time.
Okay.
If you're thinking of, making money, building a business, or even climbing the ladder of your career, this is exactly how you should do it. We'll start first with the modeling, but that you can replay. Rewind this and then go and watch that.
Okay.
But the other thing you need to do is to download an app called Todoist.
Okay.
Right? I use that to schedule and to plan my day, the things you need to do. So I just write today, okay, I need to meet Richie today. I need to meet the team and discuss this. Once you've downloaded the app, the next thing is your bigger dream. And my dream is to have 50,000 young men and women empowered through the podcast. 50,000. And that's a community of giants. But I've broken the 50,000 down to how many do I need in a week per episode? How many?
Okay.
That's all. So once you break it down, then the to-do to make that 50 a week happen is what you do in the to-do list. Okay. In your to-do list, you write every single thing that you need to do to be able to achieve 50 people that will be impacted by what I am saying every single week. If you're a genius, you can actually break it down to every day.
Okay.
Where you break it down, okay, in a day is X amount. So these are the tasks that you have to do to be able to achieve that every single day. The problem a lot of people have is that they create this idea in their head or in their business plan that I want to have the biggest shipping line in Africa. It stops there. It doesn't go any further than that because nobody's going to give you the money for that.
Yeah.
But if you start with just contracting other logistic companies, slowly, you will find that over time, by virtue of compounding, you will become the biggest shipping line company in Africa. There was a young man, that came to me with an idea. He sent it to me on Instagram. And then when I read it, I said, what can you do about this today?
Thank you.
Focus on that. What can you do about this, your big idea today? Because it's no good sitting down somewhere and then crafting beautiful ideas. Because what happens is the moment you put it in your mind, there's something called thought power. It goes into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then other giants will pick it up and they will do it. That's why sometimes people say that I thought about this, but somebody has done it. Because they were not thinking about the simple steps. They thought about the big idea. And then just like the God has created, it falls into Richie's mind, and then Richie sets up the biggest record label in Africa. Meanwhile, you could have started from the comfort of your home with just one keyboard.
That's what when the entrepreneur, the millionaire comes to say, I started with just one chicken.
Thank you.
They don't want to understand.
Thank you. This is the reason why. Because everything every big plan you have, you need to break it down. Jesus Christ needed 12 disciples, but he started with one.
Yeah.
Start with one. And sometimes, if you're good enough, your discipleship is such that the people who trust you and the business that you're doing around the day will spread the word across.
Thank you.
You don't even have to go and get the rest of the business deals. It'll come.
It's like somebody, when I started my content and everything, somebody asked me what's my strategy, because they went on my page, they saw, people are watching and everything. What's your strategy? I said, I don't have a strategy. All I want to do is impact as many people as I can today. This is the thing I want to share.
Yep.
If 10 people watch it, great.
And that's the reason why sometimes people get disappointed on this journey.
Yeah.
So, all right, I want to make £50,000 a month. Because the number is so big.
Yeah.
If it is not happening, you get frustrated.
Why am I only making £5,000?
And if you are not careful, somebody somewhere will come to you and say, there's a malam here somewhere that can do this nonsense for you. And you will go.
Yeah.
Because now you are in a desperate position. But if you had focused on 2 customers a day, just 2 customers a day.
Yeah.
And your focus should be, how do I get 1 customer within 12 hours?
That's a very easy target.
That's it. How do I get 1 customer in 12 hours? That's all. So your big plan, beautiful. Break it down into small plans. And then let's take it one bit at a time. Forget these ones, write them down. And then let's tackle this first. That's all.
I always tell people, when you're trying to make a plan, have a 10-year goal. That's beautiful. You know what your destination is. Have a 5-year goal, which shows that halfway I should have at least reached here.
Yeah.
Then have a 1-year objective that if I'm able to achieve this in 1 year, I know I'm getting closer to my 10-year goal.
But do you know what the beautiful thing is? God is so wonderful. So much that after you've set up that big plan for the 20 years, and then you choose to take it bit by bit.
That's the most beautiful part.
Sometimes, within 3 years or 2 years, the growth you would have will supersede what you thought.
Exactly.
So that's why sometimes people will say, he just started. Oh, you don't understand. What is happening is beyond our control. Just get yourself in that journey. In the Bible, I think it was Joshua God told to put his foot in the river. It will dry. He had no clue what he was going to do. Just take that step. The rest is divine.
Yeah. Because once you have the goal and you decide to act every single day towards your goal, the thing is, the version of you that exists right now is pale in comparison to the future version of you. So even the idea you have for yourself in 10 years, which you think is such a big idea and is amazing, trust me, in 2 years, you realize you were thinking small.
Yep.
So if you just stay fixated on that and you don't start acting now, then it's like the world can't open up to you because you're so stuck.
I'll give you an example. Bro, in 2017, I had a telehealth company. And I had first launched a Google Ads to target customers who needed the products and services that we're offering. And then I did a big web. Eddie was there and 2 of my employees were sitting there. And then I wrote it down. I said, okay, we're going to use Magento, which is a CMS. And then we'll have 20 websites. And then they will all come to the same backend. And then I said, wait, hold on. That's a lot of work. Okay, how many customers do I need? Within X amount of customers. And then I created an ad and put just £20 on the ad. My target was, I just need 14 orders a day. We came back to work on a Monday and we had over 100 orders.
Nice.
From that. So sometimes you see, if you focus on the little and you do it well, that is where the breakthrough is. Because it will open other channels. Because really, and people don't understand it, the real concept about wealth is maintenance. But the one that can, and you've heard it before, the one that can take care of the little, more gets added. The parables of the talent.
100%.
I'm a living proof of self-improvement. Living proof. So if anybody is looking for somebody who has been able to change his life simply by watching the right videos, cleansing his mental space and focusing on what he needs to do and has become happier and fuller in themselves, it is me. When you're looking for that, when you see me, I'm here. I'm right here.
So you've done well.
Thank you. Thank you.
I need us to advise people right now. So there's something that I hear all the time, multiple sources of income. Everybody needs multiple sources of income. To that person who's trying to make it in life, who is starting out and finding their way, understanding finances and everything, would you say it's better to have multiple sources of income or to focus on one goal?
When I started, I had multiple sources of income. Multiple. At a point, I had a computer repair services. I was teaching WordPress. I had hiplifelovers.com.
Okay.
Yes. So I own that website. That's how I made friends with Vincent from Ghana Celebrities, Amia Deborah, and Pa from BigXGH.com, GhanaMotion.com. I made friends with these guys. These were very, very early. I was a teenager when I was doing this. I had a YouTube account. I had iTube Ghana. I had blog accounts, multiple streams of income. That, if you're starting early enough, it is good because that helps you to build the skills.
Yeah.
You know, you learn money management from there, right? You learn how to keep yourself, how to set yourself properly, and then keep some money, learn savings and all of that. At a higher level, it doesn't really become multiple streams of income. What it has become is learning how to do one thing properly and doubling up on that thing. Then when you get deeper, you branch out into different industries.
Okay.
So there's like a beginning, and then there's the mid where you need to really hone in on what is working and then double up. And then at the next level is when you need multiple industries. Now, the reason you need multiple industries, and I mean, you can have a business in pharmaceuticals, you can have oil and gas, you can have manufacturing, agriculture. The reason you needed that is that, look, government policies can affect businesses at a higher level.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can crash down. Maybe there may be huge tariffs on pharmaceuticals. You don't want to go home crying. Your oil and gas business will save you at that point. Your farming may save you at that point. So that's why at a higher level, you need multiple industries. Not that you don't call it multiple streams of income. It's just industries, just so that you don't go back to ground zero.
Yeah. So help me right now to think of like a long-term strategy for somebody who's starting out and trying to build wealth. So right now, from what you're saying, which makes perfect sense, you start with, let's not even say multiple sources. You start with multiple skills.
Multiple skills, that's it.
Yes. Because one thing I always believe in, I keep telling people that don't work for salary. Don't work for revenue. Work for experience. Because when you build experience, you build value. And that value now starts to attract the wealth. So let's take somebody who's starting out in life, maybe early 20s and stuff. Can we map out what like their 10 to 15 years should look like so that they know that by the time they're 35, getting to 40, they've built enough wealth to now just sit back and be an investor?
Great. Cash flow. When you're starting out, you need a lot of cash.
Okay.
But what brings the cash is your skills and the value you bring to the marketplace. Right. So if you're young enough, in your 20s, learn prompt engineering. Now, prompt engineering is pretty simple. How do I speak to AI systems in an accurate language that gives me the answers that I want? Industries are going to start employing people simply to be able to speak to AI systems and generate information from AI systems. So learn prompt engineering. As a skill, learn how to use AI system to create videos, images, logos, all these things. Learn them. Learn how to create content and monetize content. Listen, and I don't want to hear, I'm shy. I don't want to sit in front of the camera. This is not for you, but do that. Because content and community is the next big gold rush.
Yeah.
Content and community. Do that. Start building content today. Now, on the path of, I'm trying to be a businessman, everything you are learning, you can feed that back to the internet system. So, hi guys, I've just set myself on a journey of entrepreneurship. And today, I'm reading a book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and he spoke about this and that. I think it will benefit you too. You guys should read it. It's helpful. That's beautiful. Tomorrow, come and tell us what you've learned on the journey. Just keep doing that, because while you're doing that, you are taking people on your journey of self-improvement and your entrepreneurship. At some point, the business you really want to do, you would have acquired enough cash flow from all of this to be able to do that, because what you need is skills, then cash to do what you want to do.
Okay.
At some point in your journey, when the business starts working out, yes, you need to put some money into real estate. How do you do real estate in Ghana at the moment? Pretty simple. There are people that are building off plan. Off plan, very risky. But find somebody that you can trust. Not a person Derrick trust. Somebody you can trust. Not somebody I've recommended. Go and look for that person for yourself. And that's something about Africans as well that I think they need. They need to be a lot more self-reliant.
Yeah.
And be responsible for their decision making. And
Yes,
not
it's
just
your fault.
Exactly. And not just leave everything to other people to do for them. Oh, how do you do it? You know, to the extent that even acquiring a passport in this country has become middleman job.
I don't understand. There's so many things in Ghana that are middleman, like passports, tickets, getting visa. Like I'm thinking, it's right there.
Yeah.
If Ghana card, even getting Ghana card, you need middleman.
It has become a middleman job. But that's because you are in a system where people don't like to take responsibility and be accountable. And then also to be able to say, yes, it was my fault that this happened. They don't want to do that. So on that journey, you need to be a lot more accountable for your decision making. So get yourself into real estate. I'm not saying become a big developer, but if you see somebody developing in an area that is also developing, because you make more money in a developing system than a developed system.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean. The people that discovered East Legon those days, today you buy a plot of land there for 350, all the way to $1 million, depending on the location. But imagine 20 years ago, the people that saw the developing state of that place, they would have cashed out. Ebri, a few years ago, I went there, plot of land was about 20K. Today, you'll be laughing. Right. So people should pay attention to what is developing and get some. Farming, you can put some money into farming, partner with people. And again, people should embrace partnership a lot more here.
Yeah.
I understand why they don't, but do your due diligence and work with them. Definitely don't work with classmates. Don't work with family. Don't work with friends. It doesn't work out. Because actually the biggest competition you will have in your life would usually come from family, classmates, and friends.
True.
Because these are the people that usually think, oh, I know him. You know, and I know him. And the people that would usually patronize your business the most would be people you'd never know.
Yeah.
You never met. I sat in seminars, did a lot of seminars for people who are outside, and they benefited the most than the family members that were sitting in the classes.
True.
So this would be a really good blueprint for you to start today. And I mean now.
Today. Soon as this podcast is over, start.
And you can, and if you are struggling, please replay this podcast again. And every other episode that is on this podcast. You can also, by all means, read some of the books that I read. The Alchemist. Beautiful.
Oh, I love that book.
Beautiful book. Maybe you might also find your Fatima when you finish reading that book. Right? But yeah.
Okay, so right now they're on the journey, right? They're trying to build wealth. But there's a question that sometimes people don't ask themselves. When do you say enough is enough? How do you separate your personal ambition from balance?
The funny thing is, Solomon acquired everything. And then in the end, he said, vanity. Right? I don't like the word contentment. And I'll tell you why. Derrick has got dreams of uplifting 50,000 young men and women. How do I do that with the sort of income I have today? I have to be daring and bold and remove being content out of my head to be able to make more and impact more people. And I use the fingers usually as an example when I speak about when do you call things enough. These fingers are there for support. And this is why the maker made it. So between you and I, we have talents. We have something that has been placed in us to help humanity.
Yeah.
And if you choose to not use yours, you are doing the world a disservice. Just like the fingers. So if the thumb decides today, I don't want to work, these 4 boys will not be able to lift anything.
They'll be useless.
Completely useless. So for me, once you identify your ability, don't be content, because the moment you are doing these fingers a disservice. And how many fingers can you have in the concept of the world? There are billions of people on this planet that you can impact. And you need more to impact more.
Mm-hmm.
But the true self seeks fulfillment. The true self, our higher self, seeks fulfillment. So when you feel that fulfillment is coming in, you are really working towards your purpose.
Yeah.
When you're beginning to feel it, when you dream about it. When you're doing it, you are passionate about it. The joy is there. When work doesn't feel like work anymore,
100%. You're
icky
working,
guy. Yeah. That's it. You're working in that purpose. And for me, it's only enough when we say goodbye to this world. Because the truth is, even your heart doesn't beat in a straight line. Your sinus rhythm is up and down. So we must keep it going.
You're so insightful, Derrick.
Thank you.
Please, I want you to do something for me, right?
Okay.
I say the goal is to make sure everyone watching this podcast grows to become a mastermind. So imagine you had the power to stretch your hand through the camera into the mind of the person watching right now and drop an idea that will create a complete mindset shift. What would that idea be?
Think about yourself at the age of 70, where you have a stroke and you have dementia. And you have a family and people that could have benefited from the talent that you have and the skill that you have. It will probably kill you faster than the stroke will. You are going to get to a point where you can't lift a finger anymore. And I'm not unique to it. None of us is. We will get to a point where we will have to say our last words. And when we are saying those words, it must be in the name of the people we impacted, not how we just felt in this world. And remember, people will remember how you made them feel, not what you said.
100%.
So your life must serve other people. If you really want to do that, the choice is yours. And remember this. Many, many years ago, we were all rich. We were all filthy, wealthy. All of us, many years ago. Generations have gone past. We've gone broke again.
Yeah.
And then people have gone rich. It is possible that if you think you have it today, so for that reason, you're not thinking straight, you are letting a generation down, because what you're essentially doing is that a few generations down the line, they should go broke again. Because if Mansa Musa wrote the script down and maintained it here, a lot of us will still
have benefited.
So this is what is happening. There's a cycle of riches, then poverty, riches. But the Rothschild family have done it for years. The Rockefellers have done it for years.
Because they pass it on.
So you can also change the fortune of your family and everybody else. And you might think it's difficult, but this is the way it works. If you close your eyes right now in a dark room, and then you open your eyes and there's only one candle, you begin to see that candle. Because when the world is this dark and you choose to be light, the universe cannot help but help.
Oh, I love that.
So this is it's the place on your plate. It's on your plate.
Look, Derrick, you truly are a mastermind. It's been such an honor having you here. And in fact, I feel like I want to have this conversation at least every 3 months. But thank you. You're so insightful and powerful. And, I really hope everybody watching really grabbed what you said and they're going to take action now. Not next week, not next 2 months when I finish learning this course. Take action now. Thanks for watching this episode. The fact that you stayed all the way through to the end tells me that you're not only curious, but you have the discipline to see what you do all the way through to the end. Now let's build a community of thinkers who are ready to become the best version of themselves. So subscribe to the channel and the mindset that you will develop and grow every day to become a true mastermind.